And today, the Supreme Court has answered that question by a vote of 6-3.
The U.S. Supreme Court has just issued a major ruling.
Major Second Amendment case.
Major Supreme Court ruling.
Something massive just happened in the world of firearm rights. And if you've been waiting for the right moment to protect your hearing, that moment is officially here. We are witnessing a historic push to remove the final remaining restrictions on suppressors across the entire United States. We're talking about a critical legal challenge that aims to strike down state-level bans once and for all. And this isn't just some minor update. This is a direct response to the brand new $0 NFA tax change that is officially in effect as of this January 2026. Welcome back to Law Advisor. We are on a mission to hit our first 1,000 subscribers, and we're doing it by bringing you the high-level legal analysis that actually matters for your rights. So before we break down this critical suppressor case, do me a huge favor. Hit that subscribe button right now and double check that you're still notified. We've seen reports of people being unsubscribed by the algorithm, and you don't want to miss what's coming next. I also want to thank the supporters of this channel over at First Form. They are a pro-America, pro-2A company that actually stands behind the values we talk about here on Law Advisor. If you're like me and your New Year's resolution involves getting back into the gym, you should definitely check them out using the link in the description. Right now, if you use that link for any supplement order, you can get a free 5-pack of protein sticks. It's a great way to support a brand that actually supports your constitutional rights. Now, let's get into the meat of this situation. We need to talk about the big beautiful bill, also known as HR 1, and the new $0 NFA tax change. If you've been following this channel for a while, you know that HR 1 was a massive legislative battle. While it didn't completely remove suppressors from the National Firearms Act, it did something that many experts thought was impossible. It reduced the NFA transfer tax from $200 down to exactly $0. And as of January 1st, 2026, that change is officially the law of the land. But here's the catch. Even though the federal tax is gone, the fight is far from over. In fact, it's just entering a new, much more aggressive phase. In direct response to this $0 tax, a wave of new lawsuits has been launched to dismantle the rest of the NFA structure entirely. Groups like Gun Owners of America, Palmetto State Armory, and Silencer Co. have teamed up with 15 different states to file a massive lawsuit against the ATF down in the Northern District of Texas. Their argument is actually quite simple. If the NFA was originally justified as a taxing power and that tax is now $0, then the government no longer has a legal basis to require registration, fingerprints, or those long frustrating wait times for items like suppressors and short-barreled rifles. However, there's another lawsuit that is even more critical for those of us living in restrictive states. This case is called Padua versus Platkin, and it is a direct assault on state-level suppressor bans. This lawsuit aims to leverage the new federal $0 tax movement to eliminate the bans in states that still treat suppressors like they are illegal contraband. The primary target right now is the state of New Jersey. The plaintiffs in the Padua case are using a brilliant legal strategy. They are pointing out that since the federal government has effectively admitted that suppressors are entitled to Second Amendment protections, no state should be allowed to ban them outright. This is a huge point for the law advisor community to understand. In a different challenge, known as the Peterson case, the Trump administration's Department of Justice actually conceded that suppressors are indeed protected arms under the Second Amendment. This was a massive admission from the federal government. If they are protected arms, then under the current legal standards, they cannot be banned unless the state can show a historical tradition of such a ban dating back to the founding era. And guess what? There is no historical tradition of banning devices that protect a shooter's hearing. In fact, suppressors have been used legally and responsibly for over 100 years. The lawyers in the New Jersey case are arguing that suppressors are in common use for lawful purposes like self-defense, hunting, and hearing protection. They pointed out that 42 states already allow suppressor ownership. And now that the federal tax is $0, the common use numbers are about to explode. When a product becomes cheaper and easier to get, more people buy it. It's as simple as that. This makes it almost impossible for states like New Jersey or California to argue that these are dangerous and unusual weapons. They are common safety tools, and the law needs to reflect that reality. Now, let's look at how the state of New Jersey has responded, because it is exactly what you would expect from a defensive, anti-gun government. Instead of actually arguing the merits of the case, New Jersey is trying to play procedural games. They are asking the court to dismiss the case entirely before any evidence can even be presented. They are claiming that the plaintiffs lack standing and that the whole complaint is just a series of legal conclusions rather than actual facts. They are basically burying their heads in the sand and refusing to acknowledge that the entire Second Amendment landscape has changed this month. This is a critical moment for every gun owner in America. If the Padua case wins in New Jersey, it opens the floodgates for states like California, New York, and Hawaii. I live in a state where suppressors are completely banned, and it is incredibly frustrating to see people in other states enjoying the $0 tax while we are still stuck in the dark ages. But this two-prong attack, fighting the NFA at the federal level and striking down bans at the state level, is the most promising strategy we've seen in decades. And there's even more good news. Many legal experts believe the Trump DOJ might actually jump into this case on the side of the gun owners. Given their previous admissions in the Peterson case, it would be the perfect opportunity for the administration to solidify its position that states cannot outright ban protected arms. If the DOJ steps in to support the challenge against New Jersey's ban, it would be a massive blow to the anti-gun movement nationwide. Think about what this means for the future of your rights. We are moving toward a world where you can buy a suppressor as easily as you buy a set of optics for your rifle. No $200 tax, no months of waiting for a tax stamp, and no fear of being treated like a criminal just because you want to protect your ears while you're at the range or out in the field. The common use argument is getting stronger every single day as more Americans take advantage of the H.R. 1 changes. But we have to stay vigilant. The government is going to fight this every step of the way. They're going to use every legal trick in the book to keep these restrictions in place as long as they can. That is why we do what we do here at Law Advisor. We're going to keep tracking these court dockets. We're going to keep reading the fine print. And we're going to keep Trezendo the updates you need to stay ahead of the curve. We are making incredible progress, but we need your help to get this information out to more people. We are pushing hard for that 1,000 subscriber goal, and every single like, comment, and subscription helps us grow. If you believe that suppressors are a matter of safety and a fundamental right, let me know in the comments below. Have you already taken advantage of the $0 tax change this month? Or are you stuck in a state that still has a ban? Let's start a conversation about it. The road to full Second Amendment restoration is long, but with cases like Padua versus Platkin and the momentum from the Big Beautiful Bill, we are closer than we've ever been. This nation was built by armed scholars who understood that rights are not given by the government. They are recognized by the Constitution. And it's up to us to make sure they stay recognized. Thank you so much for being a part of this journey and for supporting Law Advisor. We've got a lot more to cover as these cases move forward. So stay tuned, stay informed, and never forget. This nation will be maintained by armed scholars. I'll see you in the next one.